That tree, the one growing out of the crawler's metal heart. Everyone comes to see it now. They stand at the edge of the brink, shielding their eyes from the glare, and just look. But they don't know the whole story. They see the blossoms, this impossible explosion of pink and white against the rust and ruin, and they think it was inevitable. A miracle. It wasn't. I should know. I was there the night its heart gave out, the night it almost died before it ever really lived. And I was the only one who even knew it was alive. It was my secret. My shame, I guess. After the Hydro Spire failure in '78, the one that cost us half our water reserves and 3 good people, I swore off big ideas. Big ideas get people hurt. They breed hope, and hope is a killing poison in the dust blanket. Better to focus on the small things. Keep the solar stills running, patch the converters, survive. That was my mantra. Don't promise anyone a sunrise you can't deliver. But I'm a junker, a wire witch. I can't leave a machine alone. And that crawler, the behemoth, it was the biggest machine of all. A relic from the before times, one of the 100-meter terraformers that was supposed to reclaim the desert, and instead just died here, becoming another metal skeleton the wind howled through. I'd spent years crawling through its guts, scavenging parts, mapping its dead nerves, and deep inside, I found it. A trickle. The fusion core wasn't completely inert. It was bleeding a tiny, steady stream of energy, not enough to move a single piston, but enough to power something small. A folly. A bad idea. My bad idea. I'd salvaged the Gen Sakura seed from a crashed corporate transport years ago. A bioengineered thing, designed for orbital habitats. It wasn't meant for dirt and dust, but the specs said it could thrive with a constant nutrient feed and a stable power source. So I did it. In secret. I spent months routing ghost lines from the crawler's core, splicing them into a reclamation pump I'd built from scrap. I planted the seed in the wreckage of the main engine block, where the thickest armor would shield it. I told myself it was just an experiment, a way to keep my hands busy. But I was lying. I wanted to see something grow. I needed to prove, just to myself, that we could do more than just rust. And it grew. It clawed its way up through twisted rebar and scorched plating, its roots wrapping around the dead machinery like it belonged there. For 2 years, it was a spindly, ugly thing. Then, last spring, buds appeared. Tiny, hard knots on the branches. My secret was about to expose itself. The panic and the pride were fighting a war in my chest. That's when the alert chimed on my wrist slate. A faint, tinny sound I'd programmed myself. A low-power warning from the crawler's core. My blood went cold. I pulled on my heavy canvas jacket, clipped the diagnostic puck to my belt, and ran. The wind was kicking up, skimming dust that felt like fine glass against my face. The brink was quiet. Just the hum of the settlement's wind turbines and the flicker of glow strips over a few doorways. No one saw me slip past the perimeter and down the dirt track toward the behemoth. Standing under it, I felt its silence. Usually there was a low vibration you could feel in the soles of your boots, the last ghost of the machine. It was gone. I scrambled up the bent access ladder, my boots skidding on slick, corroded metal. The buds on the tree were tight, but a few were starting to show the palest hint of pink. They were waiting for the final power surge, the one that would trigger the bloom cycle. A surge that wasn't coming. My slate confirmed it. Core output at 4% and dropping. The cryocoolant system that kept the reactor stable, even in its near-dead state, was failing. Without it, the core would automatically shut down to prevent a meltdown. It wouldn't explode. It would just go dark. And the tree, my impossible, stupid, beautiful tree, would die of thirst in a day. All my work, all that secret hope I'd been hoarding, turning to dust. My first thought was, let it go. No one knows. No one gets hurt. You can walk away, and it will just be another piece of junk. But I looked at those buds, and I thought of the Hydro Spire. I thought of the faces of the people who had trusted the engineers, who had trusted me. I had let that hope die. I couldn't do it again, not even for a damn tree. I turned and ran back to the brink. Priya ran the council. She was tough, practical, and she didn't suffer fools, especially fools who dabbled in ghost projects. I found her overseeing the night crew, patching the western fence. "Priya," I said, my breath catching in my throat. I couldn't get the words out right. She took one look at me. "Lucas? What is it? You look like you've seen a ghost." "Worse," I wheezed. "It's the crawler. I need help." Her eyes narrowed. She knew I spent time out there. She'd warned me about it. "Scavenging again? I told you to leave it be." "It's not scavenging. I built something." The confession felt like pulling a tooth. "A life support system. It's failing." She just stared at me, the wind whipping strands of gray hair around her face. "Life support for what? More of your phantom tech?" I didn't have the time to explain it gently. "For a tree, a Gen Sakura. It's growing out of the engine block. The core is shutting down. It will die." The look on her face wasn't anger. It was a deep, profound disappointment. The exact look I'd been running from for 5 years. "A tree," she said, her voice flat. "You spent time and resources we don't have on a garden project? While our own water purifiers are one bad dust storm from failing?" "It was my time," I snapped, desperation making my voice sharp. "My resources. I didn't take anything. But damn it, Priya, it's alive. Can you help me or not?" I saw the no in her eyes. I saw her weighing the risk, the foolishness of it all. I was about to turn away when a young mechanic, Garrett, spoke up from behind her. He was barely 20. "A tree?" he asked, his voice full of a curiosity we'd all lost. "A real one? Like in the old vids?" And that was it. That was the crack in the wall of cynicism. Priya looked from me to Garrett, and the hard lines around her mouth softened just a fraction. "What do you need?" she asked, the words clipped. "A bypass conduit, heavy gauge, and anyone who knows their way around a pre-collapse fusion regulator." An hour later, there were 4 of us standing in the crawler's reactor chamber. Me, Priya, Garrett, and an old wire witch named Alden whose hands were gnarled but steady. The air was thick with the smell of ozone and hot metal. Condensation ran in the thin streams down the curved walls. The only light came from our headlamps, cutting tunnels through the dark. A deep groan echoed through the structure as it settled. "The primary coolant loop is shot," I said, pointing the beam of my lamp at a series of pipes covered in white frost. "We can't fix it, but we might be able to bypass the safety protocols and jump the auxiliary power directly to the nutrient pump's capacitor." "Jump the safeties on a fusion core?" Alden grunted. "You have gone crazy, Lucas." "It's already shutting down," I argued. "The risk is minimal. As soon as we make the connection, the capacitor will draw the last bit of juice and the core will go inert for good. It's a one-shot deal." Priya put a hand on the massive housing of the regulator. It was cold to the touch. "The tree gets one big drink, and that's it?" "It's all it needs," I said. "The bloom cycle is self-sustaining once it kicks off. The tree was designed to go dormant afterward, surviving on almost nothing. This is its only chance to bloom." For a long moment, nobody spoke. We just stood there in the belly of the dead beast, listening to it die. "All right," Priya said, her voice echoing in the chamber. "Let's give the damn thing its drink." It was tense, miserable work. The access panel was fused shut with rust. Garrett and I had to pry it open with a crowbar, the shriek of metal setting my teeth on edge. Inside, a web of ancient cables lay dormant. My diagnostic puck whined as I scanned for the right connection port. The exo-frame on Alden's back whirred softly as he held the heavy bypass conduit in place. "There," I said, my voice tight. "That's the induction port for the capacitor." Garrett reached in with the clamps. His hands were shaking. "If I touch the wrong line, you won't," I said, putting my hand on his shoulder. My own heart was hammering. "Just match the contacts, positive to positive, nice and slow." He took a breath. He guided the clamps forward. The metal jaws of the clamp touched the contacts. For a second, nothing. I felt my stomach drop. Failure. Then, a high-pitched whine started up, climbing the scale. A cascade of blue sparks showered the floor. The conduit vibrated, and a deep, powerful hum filled the chamber, a sound of life. Power was flowing. We held our breath as the whine peaked, then slowly faded as the capacitor filled. The ambient lights in the chamber flickered one last time and went out, plunging us into a darkness broken only by the beams from our headlamps. The core was dead. For good this time. We stumbled out of the crawler, faces smeared with grease and rust, joints aching. The first light of dawn was breaking over the eastern salt flats, painting the sky in shades of bruised purple and soft gray. And there, against that sky, was the tree. Every single bud had opened. Hundreds, thousands of them. It was a cloud of impossible color, each petal catching the dawn and glowing from within. The wind stirred the branches, and a few blossoms drifted down, like pink snow against the sunrise. The entire population of the Brink was there, a silent line of people standing where the dirt road began. They were just watching. Garrett let out a shaky breath beside me. Alden just grunted, but it was a satisfied sound. Priya came and stood next to me. She didn't say anything. She didn't have to. We did more than bring power from a dead machine. We did more than survive another night. We looked at a dead world, at all our past failures and all our future fears, and we made something grow anyway. Not for food, not for shelter, just for the sheer, stubborn, beautiful fact of it. It was a start. It was everything. This has been Blossom on the Brink. If you enjoyed this story, please like and subscribe. It really helps. Thank you for listening.